Hello, my Zentangle friends. Welcome to Not Perfect Zen. This is Barbara Langston, CZT, Certified Zentangle Teacher, and I am on day 19 of the Inktober Tangles for 2021. As usual, for these, I'm using a Micron 01, my graphite pencil. Yesterday I called it a charcoal pencil. It's not, it's graphite. And a blending stump. And I'm curious if you've noticed some of my additions to the front of my book. I've been sneaking a couple of little patterns on there, and this is today's pattern, which is Oopsmi by Hanny, Nura, CZT. And this was a fun one. I've been playing with it. I wanted to show you. This is a paper that I had worked on for the moon pie, okay, and had just kind of played around with it. And then yesterday, as I was looking at various ways that you can do Oopsmi, I just kept adding it around what I already had, and came out kind of cool. So I just wanted to show you that. The basic pattern looks like this, and I have found by looking on social media, I think especially on Instagram, so many various ways that people have done this. I want to show you real quick. One of the things that I do is that I take screenshots, okay, of ways that people have done it, and I have it on the front and back of this sheet of paper. So just give you an idea of how I do my practice for these videos. It's fun. I enjoy it. And again, there is that one. So I'm going to show you the basic of how the step out is. I believe the step out is only on Instagram, but it's easy to follow. So if you can't get to Instagram, if you don't have an account, then it's an easy pattern. So she starts with just, line coming up, and then she brings it around and connects it here where she started, and then keep going around and make another circle a little bit further in, and then come back around and make a third one. Okay, so it's just making a swirl that gets smaller and smaller. And then once you have that, you bring this side down and connect it. And then fill this little area in. And if you're using an 01 like I am, just try not to be too hard when you're doing this, filling in a large space. I actually prefer to use a graphic one. And if you don't know what a graphic one is, that's a graphic one. And it has a really thick tip like a marker. And so it fills in a space really quickly and nicely. But it is not required. Okay. So once you have this done, you're going to come up here to the top and then start doing an aura, bring it down, come down a little bit and add another one. And again. And then you can bring this down as many times as you would like. Okay. And then you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Come around, come a little bit further down and do that again. So that one's pretty fat. I have seen them a little more thin. So come up again, make your little spiral. And then you can come around and make your little orbs more towards the bottom instead of the side if you want. And again, now bring this down and fill it in. And then this is another way that I've seen it done that I liked. This one kind of reminds me of peacock feather. Okay, and then as far as the way that Hanny did her shading, she just shaded inside of this one, the middle one, a little bit. And then with what's left on your blending stump, just add a little round C down there. And then you can come back and add shading next to each of these petals. Down here, I would probably add a little bit of shading where this is. And then bring those out a little bit. Okay, so that's just the basics. And so let's go ahead and start on a tile. And I'm just going to show you a few of the ways that I saw it done. And again, if you have access to Instagram, then you would just use the hashtag. So what I looked for was Oopsmi. And then it brought up all those examples of what I showed you. Okay, I think for this one, I'm going to go ahead on my tile. This is 4 inches by 4.5 inches. These are tiles that I cut. And this is the way I like to do mine. I tend to do it straighter if I don't try to guess where to put my border dots. And one of these that I showed you was done like this. That's quite a few of those. And I'm not going to put that many, but I do want to add several different variations to show you. Okay, so again, I'm going to start down here at the bottom and come up and around, around again, and one more time. And then I'm going to make my auras. Then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Oops. Okay, before I do that, I need to fill this in. See, that's the name, Oopsmi. So I almost did an oops. And in case you haven't heard before, there are no mistakes, just opportunities to do something despite the fact that you think it's an oops. Okay. And in this one, I'm going to add a little highlight in here. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to fill this in around it. I had fun playing with this one, and it would work well in an organic tile. Okay, I'm going to come out here to this outer ring and just add some little stripes. Actually, I guess you would just call these auras. Okay. And let's try another one. Again, I'm going to start here, come around, and this time I'm going to bring it up and kind of straight down, and then I'm going to come up again and have this one where it meets down here at the center, or at the bottom, I guess. Fill this in. Okay. Add my auras. And then in this one, I'm going to add just a little orb in here. And then in this area, I'm going to fill it in. And bring it around, but I'm not going to fill it at the very top. So I'm going to leave kind of a sparkle there. Come up from this side. And I'm not making this a straight line in between. I want it to be jagged. I like how that looks. Okay, so there's one with the sparkle at the top. Okay, this one I'm going to bring around kind of the opposite way of what I did. And I'm going to come around and come back in, make my second loop, touch, come around again, but this time I'm going to put like a little fescue in the center. And like I said, these are ideas that I found from other artists who had done this. And I appreciate having social media to help me with finding these. Okay, so there's 3 so far. I'm going to flip it and do something different. Okay, this is how on the PDF from Stephanie Jennifer, this is kind of how she had done hers. She had it very simply done. And then your little area down here to fill in. And she put an aura here. Okay. And then started adding these. And for each of these, she had an aura around it. Not very wide. But I thought this was pretty. And the only one that I saw done this way. So I wanted to make sure I shared it. Okay, down here, I'm going to put my aura inside. But it will have the same effect. Okay, so now I'm going to do that on this other side. And if I take my time, I'm able to make my auras look much better. I'm going to put this one on the inside. And one more. Okay, so there's 4 different ways. So another, so we're going to go up, make our loop, another loop, and our other orb. Okay, fill this in. I'm always happy to find another organic pattern. And when this 31 days of making videos is over, I look forward to putting these together in different ways. Okay, so another way to do this center is stippling, which is just little dots. Okay, and then inside here, I'm going to make some rounded curved lines. And then in this outer ring, and again, these are ideas from what I've seen on Instagram. Okay, so there's that. We're going to add our auras. And I'm just trying to make these look a little bit different. As I've encouraged you many times, make this your art. Just enjoy it. Okay, there's number 4. And then, oh, okay, now I remember what I wanted to show you. So this one's still another basic pattern. And then I'm going to add my orbs, my auras. I'm sorry, not orbs. This one's going to go behind. And then on this side, I really liked what someone had done. They brought it, each of these, and had them meet all on this line down the center. And I really like how that looked. Okay, so that's several different ways that you can do this. Something different there. Now for shading. Okay, I'm going to add graphite on the outside of this. And soften it. And then leave that outside ring kind of light. And then a little bit of shading on the outside of these, where it looks like the one petal or leaf would be going behind the other one. And then just soften that. And that's basically what I've done on each of mine. I'm just using what I have on my blending stump right here. I'm going to soften my border. Okay, inside here, I'm going to add just a little bit of graphite. And I'm not going to bring that all the way to the top. Okay, I'm going to leave that open, just like you see on that top. And I think in the center, I am going to make this a little bit darker and just leave a white spot there, a little highlight. And then basically the same thing. I'm going to add a little bit of highlight on the outside of these petals. And these are really pretty in color also. I'm just doing these Inktober tutorials in black ink on white paper for the most part. I think on this, I'm going to add a little bit of weighting. Weight as in W-E-I-G-H-T. And a little bit up here at the top also. Kind of like you would do on the print-on pattern. Yeah, I like that. It's not perfect, but that's in my name. Okay. Let's try a little bit here and a little bit in this one. So you can use your graphite pencil. It's not necessarily adding color as you would think of it, but in a sense it does. And you know, you could do the same thing here, every other petal. Let's try it. What if we did that? Let's see how it looks. I like it. I haven't done that before. Okay. Let's do it on this side. Every other one. And then use my blending stump to soften it. Hey, that's cool. I like it. And we could do the same thing in the little auras here. Just add a little bit of graphite inside our auras. And in this one, I'm just going to put a little bit here at the top. And we'll make a tiny little gemstone there, hopefully. I do want to say thank you again to my wonderful supporters. I have received several offers of support through my coffee.com account, and it is so much appreciated. I'm still struggling with my Wi-Fi, but I have a techie guy coming tomorrow to help me out. So hopefully he can tell me what I'm doing wrong and help me get it finished, or fixed rather. So can you see that all I did was soften the top of that, and it makes it look like a round piece of glass or something in there. Okay, down here, I'm going to bring a little bit up the center, and then just like I did on the others, add some highlight, or shading rather, I'm sorry. And let's put some shading here. So these are mostly the same, but with just a little bit of difference in each one. You can see that it changes it up. I'm going to bring my border around in between. And just very lightly adding. And then I'm going to use my blending stump to soften it. All right. Sorry to be twisting that around so much. There you have 6 ideas for ways to do Oopsmi by Hanny Nura, CZT. And again, if you have an Instagram account, you can see a lot more ideas. And I did forget to mention that this was also something that I saw. So you could do a ribbon, and the one that I saw was actually in a circle, and it was a border within a circle. So here we go. There's Oopsmi by Hanny Nura, CZT. And there it is combined with Moon Pie. And I had to cut this out because it had notes all around it. So that's why that's cut. All right, thank you again for joining me for another day of Inktober Tangles for 2021. I hope that you will join me again. And I want to remind you to accept the artist in you just as you are. I love you guys. I appreciate you. And I will see you next time. Bye.